Hello, everyone, and welcome back to We Know Love Island here on RHAP. Today, we will be talking about Love Island Beyond the Villa, Season 1, Episode 6, which, spoiler alert, is not the finale, and we're dumb as hell. Kirsten MacInnis, joined as always by the great Brian Scally. Scally, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Even more excited to find out that I get to be here 2 more times because yeah, who told me it was 6 episodes?
And it's so funny too. Like the comments on last week's YouTube video, again, if you're not watching on video, what are you doing? Go to youtube.com/@RHAP. You can get the recaps to see our beautiful faces. Yeah, I don't know where I saw that it was going to be 6 episodes. I internalized that so heavily that I was on the Big Brother recap last night saying it's the finale. No, surprise, surprise. There are actually 2 more left because the crew is going to Miami. And suddenly, when you look up the show, it shows the 2 episodes that are coming out after this with the dates and descriptions. This was not present prior to this time. So I don't know, brownie points to all the people in the comments who did know it was 8 episodes, and sorry for spreading misinformation on the internet.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, but that's fine. I'm glad to have 2 more episodes.
Yes.
I feel like I was a little confused as to how Kendall and Nicole were going to be the big finale point, but at the same time, I watched this episode and I was like, I kind of liked this episode. Wasn't the most eventful episode ever, but I thought it was pretty good.
I had fun. Before we dig into it, I do also just want to address one more point of our confusion, where last week we were like, why is there a lower third for Kendall's friends, Sophia and Alexia? We don't, why do we know who they are? They are the daughters of some people from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They were on Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills. And there are rumors that they will be on Bravo's new show, Next Gen LA.
Oh. I didn't know Next Gen LA was going to be a thing. Look, if you had written Kyle Richards' daughters, like, I would have known that. I am on the beginning of my Housewives journey. I am just finishing Salt Lake City. I will get to Beverly Hills. I know most of them. I'm sorry, I cannot identify their offspring by lower thirds.
I'm sorry, you're gonna give me the first names only, and you're not gonna say Sophia and Alexia Richards.
Literally, that's
is that
all
even
I
their
needed.
last name? I was like, wait, do they even have the same last name? I don't know. Anyways, not my business, but I guess it does make a little bit more sense why they got some attention. Though still wondering why there was no lower third for Tom Sandoval at that housewarming party.
I think we're just fine. I don't think we needed to acknowledge Tom Sandoval at that housewarming party if he was in fact there.
I'm still convinced he was there, and I don't know if we needed it for these 2. You'd think they would have done it for Tom Sandoval as well, but maybe that was just out of loyalty to Ariana that they didn't acknowledge his presence.
Exactly.
Anyways, this episode 6, we can jump into it now. I agree with you, Scally. I enjoyed this episode. I think in part because there was so much PPG content.
Yeah, I thought there was a good amount of PPG, actually interesting conversations for PPG where they're like going to go to a winery, have a picnic, and just talk about all of the drama that's happening around them right now.
And I would like to know some more information about this winery because like winery tours are a huge thing in my neck of the woods.
Okay.
But in no wineries are we getting on an all-terrain vehicle and like heading up a mountain to drink the wine out of like a weird cooler in the back of a Jeep. So is this like a known they also are talking about a giraffe. Is this like a safari? Like what is this place?
I've never had the pleasure of visiting Saddle Rock or said winery, but honestly, if they were to take me on an all-terrain vehicle, I think I might be even more into a winery than I usually am. I think I get wine and a ride. Sign me up. So a picnic, I'm all in. I thought that this did look fun.
Absolutely. Wow, I'm looking this up. So it's I think it's Malibu Wines is where that is. It looks like they do paint and sips, permanent jewelry and wine tasting, bar and bubbly, candle making and wine and craft making,
Okay.
cookies and charcuterie workshops, flower arrangement, petals and pours, where you do a flower arrangement with wine. Honestly, it sounds
Okay.
phenomenal.
Not a sponsor, but would go.
Island disco every Saturday night.
Okay. Interesting. Very
Okay.
interesting. But regardless, I mean, it was good enough for PPG. It's good enough for me.
Good enough for PPG means it's probably too good for me.
That is definitely very fair. But regardless, nice little location to break down the things that went down at the end of the episode last time, like Kayla and Aaron fighting in the parking lot.
Yeah, so they sit down and, very naturally, Serena says, "How is Saddle Ranch?" Does she care? Does Serena care how Saddle Ranch was?
She just wanted to be validated and not going. She was happy that she didn't go. She hears that there was okay, I didn't get to see Torrin and how much he looks like Aaron, but I think I'll live. And otherwise, there was a fight. Like, I'm good. I'm definitely good.
And so they mention how Torrin looks like Aaron, talk about how upset Aaron was about it. And Serena's like, she was there with her new man in front of Aaron. Like, were they kissing? Like, asking the hard hitting questions that we do need answers to. And
which she doesn't feel bad for. She's like, he basically was trying to have sex with someone right in front of her in the villa last year. So I actually feel fine about this.
She says, Team Kaylor forever.
Yeah, I like the Serena and Kaylor relationship that we're getting. I think that Serena has always been a really good friend on these shows. And so even when we find out that Kaylor is having to go home, there are further complications with her grandmother later in the episode. She's talking to Serena, saying that if not for Serena, she wouldn't even be here. I like this relationship quite a bit.
If there's one place you will find Serena, it's standing 10 toes down. And she is doing that for Kaylor here, which I think is really nice because as much as we've seen over the course of these 6 episodes that Aaron has had a little bit of a growth arc and he's, withdrawn from the internet stuff and is working on himself and his mental health, what he did was still wrong. And it's fair for Kaylor to have feelings about that and not jump back into something with him. Serena jokes like, do you think Kaylor was hooking up? Like, do you think Kaylor and Aaron are secretly hooking up? I was like, no. But I could see it. The way she was smiling at him.
She would have told us by now. She would have been dragging him to hell. Oh my God, he hooked up with me again, and then this is what he does. Or he would have outed her for we hooked up, and she would have said, no, we didn't. Like, he said that she tried to kiss him. If they had hooked up, he would have outed this.
You're correct. You're right. You're right.
Unless it comes out in a later episode, like the finale bombshell drops, and it's like Kaylor and Aaron were actually hooking up the whole time, because that would be good TV.
That and the Extreme Ways plays, and we see all of the different things that we didn't see over the season because they were portraying it through how Kaylor and Aaron wanted us to see it, and then they're like, and here's how it really was. Boom, boom, boom. That would be iconic television, truly.
Yeah, that I could see, but otherwise, I think we would know about it by now. I think it's a pretty unrealistic situation. I don't think either of these two are very good at keeping their mouths shut, especially when they're trying to argue. They pretty much just blurt out every single thing they have, regardless of how it's going to come out.
Their thoughts go directly out of their mouths. There is not a filter, not a moment of pause. And that is why they do make good reality TV characters, right? We don't want everyone to be super polished and always thinking about how they're going to come across, because then that's just disingenuous. Speaking of disingenuous, Serena asked how things were with Kenny.
Oops. Yeah.
Hey, that was really good. Come on.
It was so good. I couldn't believe myself. I was a little floored.
And so we do get to hear from Janae's perspective how the conversation went at their dinner. Janae says that when he shut down, he was giving serial killer vibes, which I'm sorry. The fact that they didn't break up sooner is crazy to me, because if you can recognize that someone is giving you serial killer vibes, to me, that's a bright red flag. And so, yeah, it's good to see that Janae did see red flags, but it's just sad that she just wants to be loved. And so I think she was looking past some stuff.
Yeah, she says in this moment he's giving serial killer vibes, and I'm like, Janae, little do you know what's coming, because this man is
Yeah.
serial something much later. But I don't know. As soon as someone would give me serial killer vibes, like, I'm not hanging around. I do not need to be serially killed. Like, I am not trying to
Period.
be not trying to be on that list. Thank you.
It's like when you watch horror movies and you're like, well, I would simply never be in that situation because I would never leave the group. I would never like do this. I would never do that. It's like I tell myself if I felt serial killer vibes from a partner, I would be gone because I try to stay safe. But it's so hard when the time is like committed, and especially when your relationship is public. I feel like there is a feeling of wanting to make it work. And especially when she's hearing about how good Leah and Miguel and Serena and Cordell's relationships are, I think that it also kind of is a pressure of, well, we're PPG and they're PPGM. Like, we have to keep it together. I totally can see that being a reason to overlook some red flags. I don't blame Janae.
Yeah, no,
I
not at
just
all.
can't.
I mean, I wouldn't blame anyone in like these situations and where they are like the victim of that, let alone,
Yes.
even smaller things. But to say here, especially when there are so many external pressures and probably even internal pressures that you are putting on yourself to make any reality show, romance, relationship, etc., work, especially something that you have a high level of investment in, whether financially, time wise, et cetera, emotionally,
Yeah.
it's obviously very difficult. So even though he was not being great, like, okay, he apologized the next day, says he's going to communicate, I guess we're going to go one more time.
Yeah. And again, when I say like, oh, I don't blame Janae, I mean that from the perspective of if I was watching this without the
Obviously,
knowledge
yeah.
that I have, I would still not blame Janae. And this is where we get they're talking about his lease in Dallas. There's nothing to hold him in Dallas. Like, why are you even there? Serena talks about like, this is the time, this is the moment for you guys to figure out what's best for you. We hear some information about timelines from all of them where Janae says, feel like you date someone 2 years, you live with them 1 year, married. Serena says, I'll know within 6 months if I want to marry someone. And at the 6-month mark, she's like, okay, like Cordell and I can go to the courthouse and be fine, which I thought was so
Which
cute.
she is not trying to jump into moving together. So like Serena is not saying I'm going to run with Cordell to get married right now, but like if that was the situation, like I would be ready. I know that it is going to come in the future at some point.
Yes. Exactly. And the thing is like she has a strong boundary of not wanting to live with someone she's not at least engaged to, and I think that's super fair. I think if he said, I love you, I want to marry you, like, let's go, she'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. And it would move quickly from there. Janae asked Leah, like, well, if Miguel asked you right now, would you say yes? And she's like, yeah, that's my husband. Like, we're gonna get married. And I feel like as much as Janae is saying, oh, I want to get married like yesterday, when she's couching it and like, but I have to go about things the right way, it's like you can tell she's seeing the differences in her relationship compared to Leah and Serena's. And you can literally see her brain putting the pieces together about like, this is not normal.
Yeah. It's hard because I feel like when they're at later points talking about this relationship, it's like, oh, what is the updates in your life, Janae? Like, I'm fostering a dog. Like, we're avoiding talking about Kenny. And so Kenny, even when they are giving this dog away, he is thrilled to be getting rid of one. He is so just completely motionless. Like, I'm done. Get rid of that dog. I don't have any interest.
Yeah. Crazy. Kenny says, well, my apartment won't be a litter box anymore. Well, first of all, dogs don't really use litter boxes, Kenny. Are you stupid or are you dumb? And also, like, what are you doing wrong that your apartment is, I guess, just covered in dog excrement? Like, I feel like this is user error on Kenny's part.
Look, dogs do need to be housebroken, and so
Well, yeah.
but it feels like, are they giving one completely unhousebroken. He's also probably in an extremely stressful environment in a new foster home. So that will completely lead to anything. Kenny does not seem to be making it the warmest environment. I'm sorry, that dog's tail was firmly between its legs when they were giving it back, and then he pranced right away. Like, get me away
Yeah.
from Kenny.
It was like suddenly the tail's up. Like everything is fine as soon as he's away from Kenny. So
Yeah.
I can totally understand why there would maybe
Where
be some continence issues in
and
Kenny's house.
you can say like, okay, Janae has generally been the one saying, "Oh, we're gonna get married, and Kenny, we're gonna have babies." But in this moment, Kenny does say, you know, it's sad, but one day our kids are gonna go off and leave the nest and be out on their own. And I'm like, Kenny's talking about kids. Like, Kenny is doing this like future forecasting and you know, putting emotional weight on this relationship that he didn't
Yeah.
seem so sure of even in the moment.
But look at how he puts that future forecasting in. It's not about we're going to have kids, we're going to have a family, we'll have this family unit. It's they'll leave one day. They won't stay forever. And I find that very bizarre.
You think Kenny's already looking at expiration dates in this relationship?
Right? Like to me, I'm child free by choice, and I will continue to be child free because of my choice. But I feel like if I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who wants to have children, and if I'm like talking to my partner and they're like, "Oh, we'll have kids and they'll leave the nest," it's like, leave the nest. We haven't even built the nest yet. What do you mean they're leaving the nest? Like, it just feels very strange to leap to that point. Like, that's not an exciting point. Like, that shouldn't be the exciting point of having kids, is when they leave, because that to me tells me, okay, well, you're having kids because you think you're obligated to and you want your life back when they leave, versus I have the revolutionary belief that children should have parents who want them, and that it's not giving he wants them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say by all of his other actions, I didn't take this to be like, God, I'm so excited for when we're done with this. Like, in terms of the dog, yes. In terms of the kids, I didn't read that deep into it personally, but it is an interesting way to look at things.
It just like, it struck me as such a weird thing to say that I kind of went down this like path of like, how would I feel if that was how my partner was talking? Like, I put myself really in someone else's shoes in that situation.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, so we will, the last thing we do see at the winery days, Serena asks like, what's Kenny's timeline for marriage? And Janae's like, well, he doesn't have a timeline, which is, I mean, I don't know, 9 months is like, I feel like normal to maybe not have talked about that yet, but also they met in such a pressure cooker environment that kind of pushes things forward so much that I also am like, well, it's weird that there's like no timeline.
I feel like by this point, it would be not super shocking at all to at least be talking about like within the next year we'll be living in the same city. Like, living in the same city feels like a pretty loose timeline thing. And if Kenny is so attached to Dallas, despite, which I didn't know, he had only been there for 2 years, he has no family there, like, that's valid. You can love your city, you can have your friends in your city, you could feel like your roots are there regardless, but it doesn't really feel like they're doing much to solve this problem.
No, and especially since he splits his time with New York.
That too.
Like, you need 2 leases, Kenny?
Yeah.
Like, okay. And when he came onto Love Island, he was presented as being Kenny from Brooklyn. So the fact that he's been in Dallas for 2 years, I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he wants to, all he has to do is move in with Janae, and then he can keep his 2 other leases or something. Like, if he needs to be stopping by Dallas once in a while, I don't know, get an Airbnb. You'll be fine.
Yeah, no, and you have to pay half the rent at Janae's place.
Well, yeah, sure.
Like, so you can't keep 2 more leases. You have to cut a lease. He has a 2 lease maximum.
Kenny is really set on the influencing, so
he loves it. He wants to be an influencer. But it's just so bizarre to me. I understand having multiple homes. When you own at least one of those homes, it's weird to me to be having leases across the country. No?
Depends. The housing market is a whole garbage mess right now, but that's not
the housing market sucks. But I find like if you're renting, do you really need to keep like a pied de terre in another place? Like, it just is strange to me.
I do not know. When I have the funds to be leasing places all over, I'll let you know how I feel. So
Please. I'm literally, if anyone here is like, no, let me explain why you would have multiple leases at once. Please. I'm begging to understand this because it just makes no sense to me, and maybe I'm just completely missing something, and I would love to know if
yeah.
this does make sense.
Yeah,
Um
we do get a little bit of Kenny's side when we find out
yes.
that him and Miguel are going to Muay Thai. Miguel talks about how his dad got him into it. He wasn't the most popular kid growing up, and so he needed to make sure that he could fight because he would get picked on, which is really sad. I wouldn't have picked out Miguel as a unpopular kid growing up.
Well, I mean, I guess the Mai Tai worked.
But apparently, yeah,
Uh,
no.
I mean, but it does make sense too, because I feel like if you look at his tattoos and stuff, he does have some kind of like geeky like anime
Mm,
stuff going on, and so you can kind of see the inner Miguel is maybe someone who, as a child, didn't match his current exterior and
interesting.
got.
I feel like that's
I
just
mean, and I don't know. What do you get bullied for in England? I don't know.
I
I don't
love
know.
the differences in popularity by English standards.
I mean, I have to imagine that everywhere's a little bit different and that there's different things
Mm,
to be bullied for. I don't know.
gotcha.
I'm just but a simple Canadian.
English nerd, but an American cool kid.
Well, I mean, honestly, yes, I do think that that would be a thing because at least when you then come to America, you have the accent and everyone will be like,
True.
sexy accent, you know?
True.
It kind of overrides a lot. And I don't know. I've I've never been to England. I don't know. I
Well, look.
I've only
eh,
been bullied in Canada.
Either which way, Kenny also brings up that he went to a Quaker high school. I don't feel like I remember knowing this before.
This is, I believe, new information.
I might have forgotten, but I don't remember.
But I also like I just do not know much about the Quakers. But I do think that he's left the Quaker values behind for sure.
Yeah, there you go. So interesting to know nonetheless. But when he talks to Miguel, it's all, yeah, remember when I said that me and Janae were not wanting to live together mutually? No, I misspoke. I meant that it was just me. So Kenny is reshaping the argument here, talks
It
about
was
how
so
they've
weird.
discussed moving in.
He's like,
And
"Oh yeah,
Miguel goes with it.
turns out Janae wanted to live together after all." Shut up,
Well,
Kenny. Yeah, Miguel knows because Janae was crying to Leah in the grocery store.
yeah. I understand the argument of even though Dallas is not where his family is, it's still much closer to them. It's more accessible to get home from there. He also has had a really crazy last year. So though he's been in Dallas for 2 years, he's barely even been there. So the idea of just leaving immediately is hard. But
No, so which is it? You're so connected to Dallas that you can't leave, or you've barely been there and you want to give it a chance? Make it make
okay,
sense.
points have been made, but maybe it was just a really good 1 year. So I think that regardless, whatever the feelings are, they're valid. They just need to be communicated, and that's the main issue.
It's so bizarre. And what you're telling me that Vegas doesn't have good flight connections? It's only an international tourism hotspot.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying what he's selling, and I can't go back to not knowing what I know to like would I see these red flags in the same
Yeah,
way if I didn't know. But it's just
sure.
like he's contradicting himself about Dallas. He's the comments about Vegas being hard to get home, insane. I'm sure there's direct flights between
Maybe a
Vegas and New
driving
York.
distance for home now is the only like I don't know where his family currently
I
lives.
thought his home was New York.
You asked me to
But I
remember
don't know.
anything about Kenny. Like I threw that out months ago.
You're correct. So I don't actually know where his family is, like, for
They
getting
could have
home or not
moved.
getting home. They could have moved. I have no clue. But it's just like it's giving excuses rather than reasons. And just talk to your long-term girlfriend. Tell her how you're feeling. Tell her your doubts, your fears, your excuses, whatever. And then face it as a team that want to figure this out together rather than making it adversarial by constantly just double speaking and not making any sense. Like
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Let's touch on the Liv and Aaron stuff. I feel like this was a very quick bite. We have Liv making a chocolate charcuterie board, which was more like pulling the last 3 chocolate covered pretzels that she had in a bag onto a plate.
Yeah, I was a little. I was like, this is a charcuterie board. Like, not everything is a charcuterie board.
That exactly. Like sometimes it's just a snack. If you open the bag and you hear a big like like it's empty. Like you don't have enough to put on a plate. It's over.
Pour them into your hand and eat them over the kitchen
Mhm.
sink like everyone else. Like,
Yep.
what are we
Yep,
doing
yep,
here?
yep.
But yeah, so Liv and Aaron talk about how their friendship has been doing better recently, though it has been up and down. And they ask, "Oh, that we mentioned the upcoming Miami trip."
Yes. We
And
had
Liv asked, "Do you think Connor's your only friend going?"
It's hard. We had found out about the Miami trip in another scene that I think we'll just talk about later.
Mhm.
But basically, there is going to be a Miami trip where Meg Thee Stallion is doing a swimsuit fashion show.
Love
The
it.
same swimsuit fashion line that appeared on Love Island season 7. So that's very cool. Now Liv is packing many, 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 many suitcases for this, and Aaron is here to hang out while she's doing it, even though he's very, very not excited about this trip.
Yeah, it's like I get Kendall wasn't available, and Liv needs to have someone sitting with her while she does a task.
Yeah. It makes sense when Liv brought up how she and Aaron are the only 2 living away from family, like in such a distant time
Mhm.
zone. It makes sense why they've reconnected. They were close. I mean, when things were good with Kayla and Aaron, it'd
Yes.
be a little trio hanging out in the villa sometimes. So you see them reconnecting when Kayla's on better terms. It makes sense.
Yes, 100%. Um, we do also get a little bit of conversation between them about the Kaler Saddle Ranch confrontation, and Aaron says, it's fine for Kaler to bring a guy, but it's just weird that the way she confronted me and called me jealous.
Yeah, I feel like Aaron had a really good edit for a little while, and I am not fully out on him here. The one comment I thought was weird where he's like, I feel like she's burning a bridge that she needs right now. And I was like, you keep saying you're giving her grace, but I feel like these comments are a little weird. I don't know. Obviously, he and Liv have been on the receiving end on not Kaler's most positive moments of the season. They've both have had some conflict with her, some level
Yes.
of conflict. And so it's obviously understandable. They get it. But even though you're going through a tough time, taking it on your friends is not like really the answer.
Yeah, but like, have we seen Kaler taking out her tough time on her friends? Is that in the room with us? I feel like this is retrofitting things to a certain extent. Like, to the point where
Yeah.
Aaron's saying things like, "Oh, I should have pushed her away and told her we can't be friends." Like, my guy. So, what is it? You're the bridge that she needs, or you shouldn't be friends at all? Again, which is it?
I mean, the correct answer is they probably shouldn't be friends. Like they're not a healthy relationship, and I think
Yeah.
that's been exemplified over the course of this season numerous times. I don't think they
Yes.
have healthy friendship boundaries. Maybe Aaron needs to hit that 1 full year before we start revisiting this, and it's not yet
Mhm.
happened. So I don't know. Like maybe if Kaler's in a relationship, this might be better, but it has been a tough summer regardless for the 3 of them. I think Aaron and Connor see how they do in Miami, but I'm not expecting big things.
I don't think it's gonna be great for them. And yeah, Liv is like, I get it. Kaler's been through so much. I care so much about her, but it doesn't give her the right to put other people down. She was 2 seconds away from bringing up the damn camera. I swear to God. I'm like, when did Kaler put anybody down? She didn't put you down. She commented on your like dishonesty, and you're mad that it happened on TV. Like that. Come on.
Yep. 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 Do you want to jump in to everything Kendall this week? And
Let's do
at
it.
this point, let's do it because we do get Kendall in a separate side storyline where Kendall and Alana are going to hang out and go on a little
It's
mini
their
golf
second
date.
date. He was so worried about having a second date. He thought it would be too serious. But no, he went on a second date to mini golf and he was 15 minutes late.
What'd you think?
He said, I never want to make a bad impression on the second date. It's like, then get there on time. What do you mean you're 15 minutes late? I'd be
It's,
pissed.
it sounds like she drove 2.5 hours and was on time, and he drove not very far at all and was still 15 minutes late. So 15 minutes, not ideal. Generally pretty excusable though. But when someone's driven 2.5 hours to come see you,
It's
no.
15 minutes is excusable if before the meeting time you say, hey, I'm so sorry, I got caught in crazy traffic, I'm going to be a little bit late, I'm so
Yep.
so sorry. 15 minutes is not excusable when at the start of the date the person calls you and says, where are you, what's your ETA, and you say 7 minutes and then it's actually 15. Like, again, just common courtesy
Yes.
communication. And I, on a date, I don't think being late at all is excusable, to be
It's look,
honest. Like, I,
it's
and
not
maybe
ideal.
I have a very low tolerance for a lack of punctuality. Like, I'm always early. I was raised that early is on time and on time is late, and late is unacceptable. And so for someone to genuinely be 15 minutes late, I find so disrespectful, so rude. Like, if there's no extenuating circumstance causing it, I have no patience for people not being on time. I do not understand the, like, oh, it's fine, like, grace
Hmm.
period, blah blah blah. Like, I do think I have gotten worse just from having some friends that are really bad at being on time, but it all still drives me crazy.
Look, you're lucky you're not dating gay men. I will.
Listen, little me would have loved that. Okay,
There you go.
the number of gay men I've had crushes on over the years.
I will say when Kendall was talking so much about this second date being like such a serious thing, made no sense. When it means that she's driving 5 hours round trip to come
Yeah.
see you, oh, that's serious. Like I'm driving 5 hours maybe on my wedding day. Like I a second
I
date?
But
No.
wait, you're telling me there's no option for them to meet in the middle? Why does she have to drive
Like
2.5 hours and he's driving, like, hardly anything?
I find out you live 2.5 hours away, and I'm like, oh, well, it was so nice meeting you. Have a good life. Like, this is not happening. I'm so
Oh my
sorry.
god. Yeah, I mean, you do have to recognize that. Like, when I was on dating apps here, there's, like, a community that's just up the highway, like, maybe 30 minutes, called Langford, and I literally, anytime I saw someone from Langford, doesn't matter anything else that it said on their
Mhm.
profile, absolutely not. Like, I'm not commuting to date. I don't wanna commute for a job, let alone for a
No,
relationship.
like you
Uh
can move. Like,
No, literally, like,
mm-mm.
talk to me when you move to my city, like, absolutely not. Can we also talk about how bad Alana is at mini golf?
It's interesting because she takes a swing that just absolutely skyrockets a ball over the hole and into a lake. But I think she beats Kendall at the end of this.
I don't I do not understand. Like, she's hitting the ball so hard, and then it goes, like, 2 feet, and I'm like, "This is just not clicking."
Mm-mm. I'm sorry. I love mini golf. I am very competitive. I'm not letting you win. I don't care if it's a date. Like I love mini golf, and I'm going to take it very seriously. I don't know. A bad mini golfer, that might be a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker. See, I love mini golf is, like, probably my favorite date that Josh and I do on, like, a pretty regular basis, and we're both, like, fine, but it's so funny when we first started dating, he'd be like, "Oh, that's so cute that you're taking a scorecard to, like, keep track," and I'm like, "This the it's very important. This
Yeah.
is actually, like, what, we're just gonna not keep score? Then why did we come?"
Yep. And so Kendall is telling us basically it's not the same fireworks that I was feeling with my two other relationships that I've had in my life. There's like kind of, I don't know, let's say a like a vibe. And again, I'm not driving 2.5 hours for kind of a vibe.
No, what are we doing here? And, like,
Mm-mm.
Alana, we didn't even get to know you at all. We didn't
Sh-
get to know you at all.
Because when she says to him, she's like, so I live, really far away and I'm driving. You think you want to come out to me next time? And he's like, ooh, I don't really do that. So I think like at that point, Alana, like, you're good. You're so good. Just walk away. We don't need to do this.
Yeah, like stand up, Alana, at this
I feel bad.
point.
I feel
She
bad.
deserves better than this. Like, and this is so like, I feel like the only reason they even had a second date is that they could get confessionals talking, like comparing these feelings to like being with
Um,
Nicole and like talking about the Nicole experience a little bit more in another context before they actually meet up.
yeah.
It did not feel real. I did not see
Yep.
any sparks. It
No.
was so bizarre. But the
Do you think we
mini
see
golf,
her again?
no,
I,
absolutely
no,
not.
I don't think
The
so
mini
either.
golf looked fun though. I would
I
go to that
agree.
mini golf.
Sign me up. I'm so down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we get Nicole kind of name checked at this point, or at least talking about the past relationship, but it's only once Kendall and Kenny actually meet up and have a little bit of food that we find out Nicole's coming into town. We finally have the Nicole visit of the season.
It's happening. It's been hyped up this whole time. And just for anyone who doesn't remember, Kendall and Nicole left the villa together last year. And then basically the second they got out into the real world, some intimate
Some private.
images, videos, private of Kendall's were leaked by someone that he had sent them to, who obviously was sucked, is a horrible person. And when that came out, Nicole, instead of just being like, that's horrible that happened to you, she really lashed out at Kendall. Like at the reunion, she was very much like, but you weren't honest with me. You weren't honest with me. Like you were obviously sending photos like while you were in the hotel before Love Island, like blah, blah, blah. And it was very strange because again, like I was like, you can't get mad at someone for nudes they sent before they knew you existed. It's just like very
Yeah.
unreasonable. But also just Kendall was in a very vulnerable place. Things that should have never been shared were shared. And instead of being a supportive partner, she made it all about herself and their
Yep.
relationship instead of taking care of him and letting him lean on her. And so the
Yeah.
reunion was very weird. And she did not come out well liked based on that.
No, not at all. I mean, Kendall talks about how he just never thought Nicole out of anyone would go rogue on him. He just wanted like the one person in the world that he wanted to talk to when every single other person was reaching out was not. And he was
Yeah.
left pretty alone at that moment. And so he has some unresolved feelings. He's apologized 100 times. She's never apologized. They have never spoken since they really broke up, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, finding out that they would be meeting up this season, my level of investment in this show as a whole did rise for sure.
Yeah, because we had no clue of what was going to happen. And yeah, when they left the reunion, they were technically still together, and then they broke up a few days later. And as it was shown on this episode, Nicole like posted on her story before he had an opportunity to say anything, and like kind of made herself a victim a little bit of a breakup. So yeah, I was interested to see what she would have to say, and we did see her meet up with Leah and Serena, which I feel like Nicole, Leah, and Serena is such a bizarre group of people to be meeting up.
It's interesting because they're apparently still in communication. They've talked on the phone, they've been texting, whereas Nicole says, Liv and Kaylor unfollowed me. And those are really like the six main girlies of the season: PPG, Nicole, Liv, and Kaylor. And Nicole kind of just eventually seemed to go a little MIA after things with Kendall fell apart, despite making it to the actual finale. And so to find out that Liv and Kaylor, who she was pretty close with, especially in the villa, have just blocked her, that sucks. Not ideal.
Yeah. And Serena's like, yeah, Kendall told them to unfollow you.
He does deny this. He denies this and says, I never told. Like when they eventually meet up, she does ask about it. She's like, it sucks. I totally understand if you were to talk shit about me, but those were some of my best friends. And even though like I'm not going to hold a big grudge about it, it's fine. It sucked that people were caught in the collateral. He denies. Seems like Liv is sticking to the story.
Yeah. Do you believe him when he
No, not at all.
denies?
No. I don't believe him at all. I think he firmly was like, Liv, like, you're my friend. Why are you still following Nicole? Like, I fully hear that in his voice. I think that it 100% happened. I think Kendall is someone who is pretty curated, not only on his social media, but also on reality TV. And I think that that's something that we kind of felt on the Love Island season, but also here. And I still enjoy him as a personality for the most part, but I don't think he is the 10th most reliable narrator on this cast.
Yeah, and there's only 9 people on the cast.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see this from his perspective. Again, I also, like, I would have understood if everyone unfollowed Nicole after the way that she acted towards him in, like, one of the lowest moments of it. Like, he's coming out, nobody thought the show would be as big as it was. There's so much attention, so many eyes on them.
Yep.
And then he gets embroiled in this horrible situation that should have never happened in the first place. His partner at the time treats him like absolute shit about it. I would have unfollowed her too in that situation, I think. And so I find it more interesting that people like Leah and Serena didn't unfollow her. And I would assume that their friendship is more based on a, like, we've all gotten hate and we don't want to feed into it, would be more of my guess. Of course, I'm not them, so I don't know.
I mean, Serena says, like, she does not fuck with Kendall at all, but at the same time, when asked, like, how do you refer to it? Is it the video? Serena's like, I don't refer to it at all. Like, that is an unmentionable. I don't bring it up. Like, that never should have happened to him. And so, like, in no part is this like they bonded over dislike of Kendall. Like, that's not what this is. It's just, this is someone we went through this journey with. And Nicole, you know, the friend that we had, she made a mistake and that sucks, but we're going to continue talking to her.
And when Nicole's talking to Lee and Serena, she's like, I never had bad intentions about the reunion. And I'm like, but what were your intentions? What I genuinely struggle to understand. Like, I understand having hurt feelings and I guess lashing out because of them, but I don't know. I don't think I would have it in me to lash out publicly with someone who's already going through, like, such a horrible experience.
I think a lot of people act without thinking, and just that's what she was feeling. So she was going to say it, especially after however many hours of sitting on the reunion. Obviously, that reunion was not filmed like this upcoming one is going to be, which was apparently an all day affair, whereas that one started at like 7 p.m. So less hours, less taxing, but it's still understandable. You're in front of a bunch of people. You're getting a little bit raked through the mud. Like, she fires back and it's not a good thing to have happened, but I at the same time can, like, connect the dots of how it did.
Classic Scally, having the perfect empathetic view of a situation. We love him for that. But yeah, and it gets to the point where Serena does say, yeah, Nicole, you are definitely the villain in Kendall's story.
Yeah, which makes sense. And I think that Nicole is ready to accept a little bit of that. So when they do finally meet up, she is very, again, like, it's totally valid that you're mad at me. It's totally understand it. You can talk shit about me, like, whatever you want to do, that makes sense. They're a little giggly, though. I feel like this was a much more, like, amenable meetup than I expected at first.
There's some moments in this meetup where Nicole's giving him the Kaler smile.
Yeah, look, Nicole talks about her roster at one point, like, oh, there's this 6'2" guy, how she just climbs, and I was like, okay, Nicole, like, sure, whatever, but I almost felt like Kendall might get added to the roster at one point.
Well, I hope he's at least first string, you know?
Yeah,
he's maybe earned that much. Yeah, it's so strange. Kendall's like, no, Kaler and Liv did not unfollow you because of me. Like,
he says he's not petty like that. Excuse me, Kendall, not petty. Like,
the revisionist history. Come on.
If you look up in the Love Island dictionary of petty, like, Kendall is firmly featured.
Yeah, he used to be the first name, but then Ace was on season 7. Now he's second in command.
Exactly. So, you know, it just is what it is. That's fine. Again, I don't think that Kendall is being 100% truthful here, but at the same time, his view of the situation, I'm kind of like, even if he did tell them to unfollow her while being petty, I'm kind of like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
So,
I don't feel any judgment for how Kendall reacted to
yeah,
what happened to him and then how he was treated in the aftermath. I just don't.
exactly.
Um, and Kendall talks about how the reunion was the worst he's ever felt in his whole life. Nicole's like, "Oh yeah, I just disassociated." Okay. Uh,
I don't know. I get, because if, again, for a reminder, what this is all about is Kendall told Nicole that those pictures were sent to someone that he trusted from a very long time ago. And I believe that, like, maybe it was even the statement made publicly at one point. I don't remember. But and
yeah.
his reasoning for that was like, I haven't even spoken to my family. I don't have my phone back. Like, I'm finding out about these things from like production, and like, I have you and you're amazing and you're the one person I want to talk to. But at the same time, like, I don't know how bad this is. I don't know who knows what. I haven't spoken to them to even say like, hi, I'm out of the villa. So obviously things are going to be a little frantic and, frazzled. So his quote unquote lie seems pretty reasonable, that she just unfortunately could not get past. And so her saying she gave zero empathy, she disassociated. I still don't feel super bad for her. I mean, I don't feel bad for her at all, but I don't fully excuse.
Yeah, I don't think anything that was said in this episode was a valid excuse for the way that she acted at the reunion. Like,
Yeah.
it felt a little bit of like, I mean, even disassociated, like it felt like co-opting like an actual thing that happens to excuse bad behavior. Like, even then, she can't even say like, oh, I didn't give you it. She's like, I just couldn't give you, well, what's the word? And Kendall's like, empathy. And she's like, yeah, well, I guess that's the word. I didn't give you
Yep.
empathy. And even then, like, she apologizes for it taking so long for them to like meet, and like saying that she didn't take his emotions into account as much as she should have. I feel like she still didn't like really apologize. It didn't feel like a real apology. It felt like can we move past this, because we were both hurt at the time, when it's like sometimes one person's hurt is worth more than the other person's. And the part of, they're obviously not in a relationship anymore, but at the time they were. And part of a relationship is that sometimes you just have to be there for the person who is in the
Yep.
worst hurt feelings, and you can kind of deal with your emotions after the fact while helping your partner through it. I don't know, maybe that's unhealthy, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I again see how we got here, even if it's not great. And so as long as he's taking it on board, I think it was kind of a soft apology, but she did take accountability of being wrong and how she mishandled it. So I'm glad for that. Now they seem to be on a good page. I think if Nicole were to like be in Miami, they would probably interact more than Janae and Connor would. So I at
Yeah.
least think they're on like that good of terms, especially when Kendall's like, I, think you're great. I think you deserve someone great. She says, I think it too. And Kendall's almost like, yeah, someone great, but like not each other, right? Like, not, we're great and we deserve someone great, but like someone else, correct? Question mark.
And I didn't even know how to really take that from him, because I was like, is he saying that to set a boundary because he can tell that Nicole's kind of laughing and smiling at him, or is he saying that in a kind of like, just joking, but what if?
Feeling
Like,
it out.
I couldn't tell which way he was saying it, to be honest.
I will actually think more of Kendall here. I don't think that he was actually sending out feelers. I think it was a joke.
Yeah.
I think it was a joke that could be misinterpreted, but I do think it was a joke. I don't think that he would re-enter something with Nicole, just as I don't think that she would re-enter something with him, at least at the time of filming, probably still now.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to be like, it was him jokingly shutting her down because she
Ooh.
seemed interested, and he wanted to be like, no, but also I don't want to be like too firm because we just got on to okay terms.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't honestly even consider the possibility, so I did not read that. But if that's what he was doing, then that's what he should be doing, if that's the
Yes.
vibe he was picking up. So
I mean, she was like, I feel like she was giving flirty in her body language, and I was very taken aback by that. But it also does make sense too, because when like she met up with Serena and Leah, like Serena says in confessional, like They have so much in common, and I really think that if none of this had happened, they really would have had
Yeah.
a chance of working out as a couple, and that's sad.
Yeah. I mean, Kenny even was like, I thought you guys had the best chance of working out. So to have that to now ending up here, I mean, it seems like Kenny not a great judge of what's authentic or not.
No.
But at the same time, still crazy this is where we ended up.
It's crazy also that Kenny said that, given that he was one of the couples. Like,
I feel like that said a lot
hello?
on Love Island though.
Yeah, I guess, but this is a year later.
Sure. And we know where Kenny was a year later.
Yeah, period.
So
So,
is what it is. Otherwise, I would say the only scene that we haven't really talked about was when Serena, Janae, and Leah do meet up with not Nicole, but another member of the Love Island family in Ariana. We're going to something about her sandwich shop with Katie Maloney. So I was very excited
yes.
to see Ariana.
I love seeing Ariana in her, like, something about her polo shirt. She's at work. She's running her business. Like,
Sure.
we normally see her so glam, and so it was so, like, fun to see her in a different atmosphere in that way. I love they haven't seen her since the reunion, so it's been almost a year since that happened as well. Ariana's like, I was so proud of you every time you told a man to fuck off. Me too. I was also proud of them.
It was
Ariana's
really
just like
cute.
us.
She's just a proud mom. It's just like those are her babies, as she says. Love Island 6 is always going to be special, especially I think after how Love Island 7 went. I don't think she has the same level of affection for that cast. So it was very funny to see her with them.
Yes, I loved it. They talk about, their life updates, as you said. Janae mentions fostering the dog. Uh we know that she's about to leave to film the next season of Love Island.
Yeah, it was good. I mean,
And
even you have Leah being like, Miguel is definitely my husband. Serena's talking about Cordell going off to film things. Like they all have these big, exciting life updates. And so that was fun and
yeah.
cute. Even they're gonna add Ariana to the group chat. It's like PPGA. Like we need to at least a spinoff. I don't think you add someone to the group chat. What if you said something
No,
in there?
you have to start a new group chat when you're going to add someone into it. Like adding someone into an existing group chat, that is a minefield because you don't know what you've said,
Yeah.
They could call it PPAG.
Ooh.
PPAG. No. I
Powerpuff
take it
Ariana
back.
girls. What about Ariana's Powerpuff Girls?
Ooh, okay. Yes, it's giving Big Brother Alliance name. I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I loved it. He's like, we're adding you to the group chat. We're friends, and it's like it's very Janae to be taking things to that level. I
Yes.
love it. And then guess what? Janae gets a text because
Oh,
this is still Love Island.
when she's like, I know who this is from, I was like, oh, did Nicole text Janae? Because like you have her number in your phone. Congratulations.
No, it is Megan Thee Stallion inviting them to her swimsuit fashion show, and they are going to Miami. I also, in my heart, like, I'd be calling her Meg the Stallion as if we're friends, but it is Megan Thee Stallion.
Look, I'm gonna have a podcast about her on 2 episodes. I think that's worth something. So
She is a Love Island fan. She
sure.
could be listening to our podcast about Love Island. It's
I'm gonna
not
go with
impossible.
probably not. Love Island is a huge commitment, let alone the podcast also surrounding it. So who knows? I wouldn't have guessed she watched though. So
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? She has the time to watch it. Maybe she wants a companion. Lots of
it's
people
true.
watching the show want companion content. But I'm gonna choose to believe that she doesn't listen, so I don't get nervous because, oh my god, can you
Okay.
imagine? I'd be like, ah.
She writes in and is like, Kirsten, actually, don't call me Meg.
She's like, you don't know me. You
Mm,
actually do not know me. Do not
that's Megan to
do
you.
exactly. Exactly. Oh my god. I would, and I would have to respect her wishes, but I would be starstruck even to be reprimanded by her.
But this is cute. I'm excited that we are getting another Meg episode of Love Island.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm assuming everyone watched Love Island 7 because who in the world did not, it seems like. But Meg obviously appeared, brought in her swimwear line. And so to get that times 2 now with Beyond the Villa was very funny.
I love it. And I saw so much content on TikTok from Miami Swimwear Fashion Week and from like
Ooh.
Megan the Stallion's show in particular. I think that this will be, excuse me, I think it'll be really fun. And I'm excited to see what happens. The descriptions of the episodes that are now published online, which I swear to God, none of them were published before. And now we have descriptions of episode 7 and 8, do indicate that there is going to be a very Kayla and Aaron centric plot to the
Of
last 2 episodes
course.
of the season, per usual, because again, they're the ones giving the confessionals. They are the
They're
ones
messy enough to
giving the
fight.
content. They will fight. So it is not surprising. And we will see how that goes in the last 2 episodes of the season. I'm not sure if it's going to be more of just the same or if there's like a
Yeah.
different nature to their drama, but we'll see
I
what
think
happens.
missed opportunity for one of the swimsuit lines to have like some of these people model. I feel like some of them
I
are models. They were
no,
in
I
bathing
I
suits all summer,
I think
or
some
are
of
they?
them did. I think
Let's
some of
see.
them did model in this, but I'm not 100% sure now. My brain could be making this up, but I
Yeah,
do
they're
think
all
that.
literally known for wearing swimsuits every single day on like a 70 episode television show.
Right? Which is why it makes so much sense for the
Does
collab to happen at
it
all,
does.
right? So again, I don't remember the specifics, but I did see a lot of video from specifically Megan Thee Stallion's show at Miami
I'm very
Swimwear Fashion
excited.
Week. So I'm excited to see that. Excited to see them in Miami. A different environment. Maybe they'll be new location, new drama. Perhaps we'll see what happens.
I love on these lifestyle reality shows when they take a trip. I feel like there's always
Yes.
big drama. Like you got to take the trip. You got to. Next season, maybe we'll go international, but for now, Miami's very exciting.
It's like someone's got a floppy hat.
That's true.
Like there's issues with the traveling. There's just always I love it. I love when they go on trips. So I'm excited to see it, and we will be back to cover all of that next week for episode 7 and the
Oh
following week for
boy.
episode 8, which I guess surprise bonus 2 episodes, which is
Whoa.
I guess not a surprise to the people that were paying attention, but it was a
Mm.
surprise to us.
And well, now I'm like, well, now they've had even more weeks to get this potential reunion together. So if they weren't already planning one, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm floored that there's no reunion. There also
That we know of.
Lizzo released a song that name drops Kenny and Janae this
Oh,
week.
interesting.
Here, let me look up the lyric.
Did you find out that'd be like good for the SEO?
Uh
So
no, she literally gets mentioned in a song where
yeah,
it's
tell me
like
the lyrics, please.
uh here we go. The lyrics go do what the hell is this long ass article? Get into lyrics. Um
I'm starting to question if this happened.
No, it did happen, and I saw Janae. I
Hmm.
saw Lizzo on TikTok.
I actually did see
Oh
Janae's
yeah.
Instagram story.
So it's an unreleased song track,
Okay.
but it's Lizzo's. It says, "Hold on, walk with me. When it comes to my people, I don't play. I don't play. Like, why would Kenny play like that with Janae type shit? Know what I'm saying?" And so I do. There are also a
Interesting.
lot of people mad that she used Kenny's name, and why didn't she say like, why did that man play it with Janae? Would have worked. But
Yeah,
guess what? It's an unreleased song. Maybe she'll change it.
she could change it. I'm curious to see how that goes. Interesting.
Yes, and Janae literally like got confronted by TMZ like on the street when she just
Oh.
found out about it, and she said, "So cute! I'm getting so much love, and it's from Lizzo. I know a lot of
Oh.
people are supporting me, but when it's your favorite celebrity supporting you, like that's different." And she says, "I'm going to go to my hotel right now and make a TikTok about it. I love her so much."
Oh.
I DM'd her instantly like, "Queen, thank you for your love and support."
That's cute. I like that.
Yes. So we maybe in the real version don't use Kenny's name, but we do love
Okay. We shall
that.
see. Otherwise, I think I'm good on this week's episode.
I think we have covered every single thing that happened, and great work to both of us per
I
usual.
agree.
If people want to hear more from you, what else are you working on right now?
Ooh, people can find more from me over on the Free Agents podcast, talking about all things The Challenge, both new and old, with Matt Ligori, as well as on social media, on Twitter at Brian_Scally, on Twitch at twitch.tv/bscally, and on Blue Sky at Brian Scally.
Love it. And if you would like to hear more from me, you can follow me pretty much everywhere at Kirsten Said What. You can listen to Mess Magnets, where myself and Sasha Joseph talk pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics. Big week for the Swifties, so we'll be talking about that this week, as well as the Perfect Match coverage with myself, Asia, and Jason over on the RHAP YouTube. We will be breaking down the finale of that this week. So big week for, well, I thought it was a big week for me in finales, but turns out it is not. There's only one finale this week. But that is all for this time. We will be back next week to talk about Beyond the Villa episode 7. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.